So, hi. I have no excuse this time. I just don't like speaking. Hello, everybody. This is Phoenix Indy, back with another Lizargon devlog. Yes, I am still working on the game. No, I don't expect to finish anytime soon. This is a passion project, and this is sort of my first full game. So I'm sort of being a perfectionist, which is probably bad, but I have fun making this. It's fine. It's fine. About the devlogs. I struggled to make them since I despise being the center of attention. I also quite despise talking. I am somewhat on the quiet side, but I know that if I don't make devlogs and post my stuff to the internet and social media, nobody will know that I exist and nobody will know that my games exist. So I've got some changes to make. I'm going to change from doing devlogs on dev milestones to doing it sort of monthly, hopefully. It's a New Year's resolution of mine, and we all know how those end up, but I will try my best. There may be months that I may not make a lot of progress, but I have to just accept that and make a devlog anyways. Be more vocal, be more assertive, and, well, just put my stuff out there. So yeah, monthly devlogs. Hopefully. Hopefully this doesn't end up like everyone going to the gym in January. First and foremost, from my last devlog, my laptop sort of died. It didn't die in the way that you can just charge it up. I mean, it completely died. Cooked itself alive from the inside. Thermal runaway. It was a good laptop, and it will be remembered. Luckily, my partner is a very smart tech person. My partner builds computers, does programming, the whole funny nerd shenanigans. So we worked together, gutted the laptop for its storage and parts, and built me my first actual desktop computer. I love this thing. It works really well, it's pretty strong compared to that dingy laptop, and handles my near daily use of it. Once I got the computer situation fixed, Lizargon development moved on. I added my own stylized god rays in order to accentuate the lights and the windows. I really like how they look, and they have the same sort of pencil grain that the rest of my art style has. I also did some changes to the slash stop and slash flash. Slash stop timer actually works correctly now. Turns out it was frame rate dependent, which I did not notice until I had a computer that could actually run more than 60 frames per second. Then the slash flash for overkills has been changed to be a closer to white color, making it easier to differentiate between if you did an underkill slash or an overkill slash. Sort of important in the moment when deciding if you're going to stop all your velocity or keep zooming through the entire area. Doors now actually make sections of the area active and inactive, and visible and invisible. It doesn't do any loading and unloading yet. Loading and unloading stuff is future me's problem. I'm going to regret that decision, but we have other things to worry about. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. The updating system I made for the doors actually works as intended now. Makes placing and setting them up a lot easier and much less tedious. After those tweaks and additions, I finished the kitchen collision and interactables. They were still annoying to make, but luckily, once I finish the kitchen, I can focus on the more gameplay parts of the autumn treetops area, instead of the talking, looking at everything thing, because, people love interacting with everything for some reason. There was also a lighting bug that I fixed. Shadows were flickering and sometimes just straight up not working. It was a fun thing to fix. Yipper do. And now, when I reached this point, I had a daunting realization. There was one major issue, the kitchen normal maps. And I kept delaying it. I was not really excited to draw tons of sketch lines on normal maps again. They're super tedious to draw and super annoying, and this is barely the kitchen. And the rest of the game is still waiting. I had to figure something out, something different, something better, something more automated. Introducing Blender geometry nodes. Oh dear, these things are a nightmare. In short, Blender geometry nodes are like created geometry with shader logic-ish. It's hard to explain. Instead of funny color and light behavior, you're trying to create tangible geometry from nothing, and praying that it doesn't crash and explode your computer. These took quite a bit long time to learn. I'll be honest, it was pretty tough learning these. A lot of banging my head against the wall. But eventually I got this, a system that vastly improves my normal map creation process. I simply add my geometry node tree onto the model I want to stylize, create a grease pencil and link it, and then draw in some guidelines. These guidelines are then used to create hundreds of streaks on the mesh taking in the color of the normal and then creating this whole object normal map thing. I don't know how to explain it, but I bake that onto the object normal map and then bake that onto the tangent normal map. And done. A lot better than drawing every single one by hand. Holy moly. What a nightmare, though. These things are so weird to understand, but it is so much better. And best of all, I can control every single variable on the fly. Guideline, streak density, streak length, streak distance, even the streak grain. I have full artistic control of it on top of just making it pretty automatic. I need better hobbies. If you want to break down on how this weird geometry tree works, I can create a ramble video, but I'll only do it if someone wants it. If I added it here, it would take like 30 frickin' minutes. I'm still currently tweaking variables to see what I like best for Lizargon. Thick streaks or thin streaks, long or short, grainy or smooth. I'll figure it out at some point, but thank goodness I can actually tweak them and test around without having to redraw over and over and over again. And after that nightmare of geometry nodes, I went on to something a little tamer to calm myself. I worked on branch and foliage tweaks and clamping, making sure they were expressive but not overdramatic and looked like they were going to rip off their friggin' branches. And last but not least, I fixed up my lighting, since it sort of sucked. It looks beautiful right now, and it'll only get better once I figure out what sort of normal maps I want. And that is all for this devlog. I procrastinated way too much on this. So what's next? It's a little hard because I'm going on a monthly basis now, but I'm going to try to work on finding the normal map streak values that I want and replacing all the previous normal maps. Currently, they're all just sort of test normal maps, me just testing out to see if my geometry node tool actually worked. I'm hoping just to tweak and just get something that looks really nice. And of course, more Autumn Treetops progress. Can't really have a game if you have no playable areas. That's sort of important. There's a lot more things that I have planned, but those are my main focuses right now, off the top of my head. Game dev is an ever-evolving process, and it takes me eons and eons, and oh dear, I am so inexperienced, but I love it. I love making games, and I really want to make more after Lizargon. And, well, until next month, hopefully. We all know how New Year's resolutions go. It's gonna fall apart, isn't it?